Chosen one, something wild is happening right now. They finally realized you've known this the entire time, and now they're feeling foolish. They thought they were 10 steps ahead, but you've been watching fully aware, letting divine timing handle the exposure. They're replaying every moment, every lie, realizing you saw through it all. The mask has slipped, and what's left is embarrassment mixed with awe, because what they misjudged as weakness was wisdom. You were never confused, just chosen. The truth was always your ally, and now it's setting everything right. There was a time when you didn't fully understand what you were sensing, those early moments when something felt off about someone but couldn't be named, when words didn't match energy, when smiles didn't reach eyes, when promises felt hollow before breaking. You probably questioned yourself back then, wondered if you were being too sensitive, too judgmental, reading too much into simple things, but something inside kept whispering, kept warning, kept showing what was really happening beneath surfaces, and slowly you learned to trust it. You learned this whisper was actually divine guidance speaking. This uncomfortable feeling was actually spiritual protection activating. This knowing was actually a gift being revealed. Your gift didn't come with instructions or manuals. Nobody explained that you were walking with supernatural discernment. You just started noticing patterns others missed completely. Someone would say one thing and you'd feel something completely different underneath. Loyalty claimed while betrayal plotted, kindness spoken while resentment harbored. Friendship performed while energy fed upon, and you felt all of it, saw all of it, knew all of it. When you discovered this gift, you didn't weaponize it immediately. You didn't use it to attack or destroy. You didn't expose everyone the moment the truth became clear. You watched, you learned, you observed carefully. You let people reveal themselves fully before making decisions. This patience, this restraint, this strategic silence marked you as chosen. While others were reacting emotionally to every slight, you were gathering insight. While others were fighting battles that didn't matter, you were positioning yourself strategically. While others were burning bridges with confrontation, you were simply taking note of who belonged on your bridge and who didn't. This wasn't a weakness at all. This was warfare at the highest level, spiritual warfare, where the strongest weapon is wisdom. And that wisdom was about to be tested in ways never expected. Let's talk about those who thought cleverness ruled, those who believed performances deserved awards. Different forms entered your life, but all made the same fatal mistake, complete underestimation of you. Some were family members wielding guilt like currency, using shared history to justify toxic behavior, expecting sacrifice of your peace for their comfort, making everything about themselves while acting like care existed for you. You watched it happen, saw patterns clearly, recognized manipulation fully, but you didn't call it out. You simply started creating distance, setting boundaries, protecting your energy without announcement or drama. Others were friends who never truly were, showing up for benefits but disappearing for burdens, celebrating themselves using your platform, networking through your connections, feeding off your energy like parasites, present for what you could do but nowhere to be found when needs arose. You saw it from the beginning, that transactional energy, that conditional loyalty, that performance of friendship instead of authenticity. Then came romantic interests playing games with your heart, keeping you in rotation while demanding loyalty, love bombing when wanting something, and ghosting after getting it, making you feel unreasonable for expecting basic honesty and respect. You felt disconnect from first conversations, that gap between words and energy, but you gave space to show true colors, and true colors showed repeatedly. Workplace manipulators were particularly bold in tactics, smiling in meetings while undermining in private conversations, stealing ideas and presenting them as original creations, forming alliances against you while pretending neutral observation, taking credit for your work while planting seeds of doubt about your capabilities. You knew about every whispered conversation, every calculated move, every political game played. You just never engaged with tactics being used. All different faces, different tactics, same mistakes, assumption that you were playing the same game, belief that because you didn't confront, you didn't know what was happening, convincing themselves that performances were working perfectly. But here's what wasn't understood. You weren't playing that game at all. You were playing a completely different game, a game unknown to those performing around you. And while performances continued, you were building a life with no invitation extended, building a circle with no access granted, building a version of yourself untouchable by deception. That building process is what's about to blow minds when realization hits about what you've been doing all along. You chose silence, not silence of weakness or fear, silence of absolute power. Silence that says, I see everything and I'm choosing not to engage. Silence that screams louder than any confrontation ever could. Every manipulation met with calm meant you won. Every lie to your face met with a knowing smile meant you won. Every assumed success met with simple note-taking meant you won, because you understood what others didn't. Confrontation gives ammunition, engagement gives access, reaction gives power away, but silence keeps all power with you where it belongs. This silence confused those around you deeply. Anger expected, retaliation prepared for, confrontation braced against, but you gave nothing, just calm, just peace, just that knowing look that made discomfort rise without understanding why. And that confusion, that's when mistakes started. Real mistakes, the kind that exposed deception to everyone, not just you. If this message activated your knowing, hype this video to connect with more chosen ones on this journey. Think about psychology here. Confrontation allows defense, allows narrative spinning, allows victim playing, allows painting you as an aggressor, but staying silent, just observing and letting continuation happen, creates self-defense to self, creates own guilt, generates own paranoia, creates wondering about what you know, creates questioning about what you saw, creates spiraling in own conscience without you lifting a finger. This is spiritual warfare at its highest form. You're not fighting people directly, you're letting people fight themselves. You're not exposing secrets manually, you're letting secrets expose themselves naturally. You're not seeking revenge actively. You're letting the universe deliver divine justice while focusing on your own elevation and growth. But your silence wasn't just about others, it was about you, about protecting your peace, about preserving your energy carefully, about staying aligned with your higher purpose. Every moment not wasted on confrontation was a moment invested in your growth. Every ounce of energy not drained on drama was energy channeled into your destiny. Every second not spent arguing was a second spent building something beyond comprehension, and that's about to be seen clearly. Not just that you knew all along, but what you were doing while games were played around you. Not just that you were aware of schemes, but what you were creating while scheming happened. Not just that you saw through everything completely, but how far you've come while others stayed stuck in toxicity. The gap between who you were then and who you've become now is about to become devastatingly clear, now approaching the pivotal moment, the shift, the awakening on the other end. Something is changing in the atmosphere around you, a tension that can't be named, an awareness that can't be shaken. A feeling making certain people increasingly uncomfortable in your presence, starting to suspect, starting to question, starting to realize truth, and it's eating them alive inside. It starts with small things that don't add up from their perspective, a comment you make that seems to reference something you shouldn't know about, a boundary you set that reveals awareness all along, a distance you create that shows investment was never what was believed. Little moments that don't make sense unless you know, unless you saw, unless you understood exactly what was happening the entire time. Watch behavior shift dramatically now, suddenly analyzing every interaction ever had with you, replaying conversations in mind obsessively, questioning looks you gave, wondering about your silence in specific moments. That comment made ages ago that seemed innocent, now it feels loaded with meaning. That time you changed subject smoothly. Now it seems strategic and intentional. That boundary you set without explanation. Now it looks like protection from something specific. Paranoia sets in fast and spreads like wildfire in consciousness, because here's what happens when guilty people realize being caught is possible. Confessing to crimes nobody accused them of committing, explaining things nobody asked about, justifying behaviors nobody challenged directly. Guilt creates transparency, fear creates obviousness, panic reveals even more than you already knew. Some will try to test you carefully, drop hints, ask leading questions, bring up old situations to gauge response, fishing for information, trying to figure out exactly how much you know, trying to assess damage to reputation, trying to calculate next moves, but every response you give confirms worst fears. You know everything, you've always known, and you've been letting self-destruction play out this entire time. Others will get defensive immediately, without provocation, starting to explain themselves without being asked for explanations, justifying actions without being accused of anything, creating elaborate stories to cover tracks nobody was following. This defensiveness is confession written in behavior. This over-explanation is admission of guilt. This desperation is conscience manifesting visibly, and it's confirming everything you already knew without you saying a single word. Then there are those who simply freeze like deer in headlights, don't know what to do next, don't know what to say, don't know how to proceed forward, caught, but you haven't called it out directly, exposed, but you haven't made it public knowledge, stuck in uncomfortable limbo between old performance and new reality. And that limbo is torture for them. That uncertainty is punishment. That waiting is justice unfolding perfectly. But the most interesting reaction, complete disappearance, suddenly too busy to connect, fading into background without explanation or goodbye, creating distance, hoping you won't make exit official. This is confession written in absence, admission spelled out in avoidance. Can't face you now, can't maintain pretense any longer, can't continue games knowing you see right through it. So running becomes the only option, and that running tells you everything needed about character. Now let's talk about what's happening inside minds and spirits, because external reactions you're witnessing are just symptoms of internal chaos. Inside consciousness, inside soul, there's a reckoning happening, a reckoning with no escape. A reckoning you didn't even have to create, because self-infliction is happening. Every interaction ever had with you is being replayed in mind like film. Every lie told to you, every manipulation attempted, every game played thinking you couldn't see, and now all of it looks completely different. Because now knowing you saw it all, now understanding you were aware the whole time, now realizing performance played out for someone who knew it was performance from the very beginning. Embarrassment is crushing egos completely, but deeper than embarrassment exists shame. Deep spiritual shame touching core identity. Because not just facing what was done to you, facing what is as people who was chosen to be. Masks worn weren't just about deceiving you, it was about self-deception, about true nature. And now that masks are gone, looking in mirror becomes necessary. Seeing self without filters becomes mandatory. And what gets seen disgusts at fundamental levels. Some will try desperately to rationalize behavior, creating elaborate stories about why actions happened, blaming circumstances beyond control, pointing to own pain as justification, painting self as victims who had no choice. But even as these narratives build in mind, something inside knows truth. This path was chosen, deception chosen over honesty, manipulation chosen over authenticity, games chosen with someone who had divine discernment, and now experiencing natural consequences of that choice. Guilt becomes physical weight affecting entire life, affecting sleep patterns, invading thoughts during quiet moments, coloring every interaction with others. Can't enjoy wins because wondering what you know about how wins happened. Can't celebrate success because questioning what you saw that was thought hidden. can't even live in peace because your awareness has become a mirror with no escape, no matter where location changes. You didn't do this to anyone. You didn't curse. You didn't wish this upon anyone. You simply existed in your truth and let natural consequences unfold for those existing in lies. Guilt is their own creation. Shame is their own harvest. Discomfort is their own karma returning. You're just the witness, the mirror, the chosen one whose very presence demands authenticity from everyone around you. While all of this was happening around you, something powerful was happening within you, transforming, evolving, ascending to levels beyond comprehension, because every test thought to be given was actually strengthening you. Every manipulation attempted was actually sharpening your discernment. Every lie told was actually clarifying your truth. You're not the same person who entered this situation. That version questioning intuition constantly, gone. That version overriding knowing with hope, extinct. That version sacrificing peace for approval, dead and buried. You've been reborn through this experience, refined by fire of deception, strengthened by weight of carrying truth in silence, transformed by discipline of choosing grace over revenge. Your energy is completely different now. People can feel it even if they can't name what changed. There's confidence in how you move through spaces, certainty in how you speak, power in how you exist. You're not trying to prove anything to anyone anymore. You're not performing for acceptance from people who don't matter. You're not seeking validation from those who can't see your value. You're just being fully, authentically, unapologetically. And that authenticity is magnetic to the right people. Your boundaries are crystal clear now, like reinforced walls. You know exactly who gets access and who doesn't. You know precisely what you'll tolerate and what's immediately disqualifying. You know without question what aligns with your purpose and what's distraction from it. This clarity isn't mean, it's not cold, it's not cruel to others, it's powerful, it's self-respect manifested, it's divine protection in action, guiding decisions. Here's where you see that staying silent wasn't about letting anyone get away with anything. It was about letting divine justice work in its own perfect timing. And divine justice, more creative than anything you could have orchestrated, more perfect than any revenge you could have planned, more complete than any confrontation you could have initiated. Watch what's happening now, not from celebration over downfall, not from spirit of revenge. Just observe, notice, see how universe operates. Same tactics used on you, being used on others now, and others are noticing patterns. Same lies told to you, being told to others, and others aren't buying it anymore. Same games played with you, being played with others, and others are calling it out publicly in ways you never did. Everything done in darkness is coming to light, not because you exposed anyone to everyone. Because darkness can't stay hidden forever in this universe. Not because you revealed secrets publicly, because secrets have a way of revealing themselves when time is right. Not because you sought revenge actively, because what gets put out into universe always comes back, always, without exception, with perfect timing orchestrated by forces beyond human control. While one life unravels thread by thread, yours is expanding exponentially. While consequences get dealt with, you're receiving blessings you didn't even pray for. While stuck in drama created, you're walking in purpose that was always yours. While fighting to maintain image, you're building real substance that can't be shaken. Contrast is stark, difference is undeniable, justice is perfect and complete. This is what divine protection looks like in manifestation. This is how spiritual warfare works at highest level of consciousness. You don't fight people directly, you let universe fight for you. You don't expose secrets yourself, you let time expose everything naturally. You don't seek revenge actively, you let karma deliver what's earned. Your job is simple: stay in your lane, stay in your light, stay in your purpose. Let the divine handle rest of it, and divine is handling it spectacularly, completely, perfectly. You're seeing it play out in real time before your eyes. Vindication you didn't even seek is showing up anyway. Justice you didn't demand is being served on silver platter. Truth you didn't force is revealing itself to everyone who matters. All because you trusted divine timing instead of forcing your own. All because you chose wisdom over emotion. All because you walked in your power instead of reacting from pain. Look, you already know the attacks weren't random. And if you're paying attention, you can feel it. Their walls are closing in. So let's talk about what we're doing about it. That's why I built Destiny Engine. It generates personalized sequences that help you rewire betrayal into transcendence, turn isolation into sacred power, and transform their downfall into your rise. We are using the Dark Elite's own weapons against them, taking their declassified consciousness technology that programmed competition and scarcity and repurposing it to serve cooperative intelligence. The beauty is, you don't even have to lift a finger. You put on the headphones, press play, and your subconscious is rewired while your enemies collapse under the weight of their own lies. This is why I created it in the beginning, so everything they did to break you becomes fuel for your purpose. The collective upgrade is underway. Start your Destiny Engine for $1 today and watch divine justice accelerate in your life. Link in the description. Some can't take it anymore. The weight of knowing that you know is too much to bear. Paranoia is unbearable. Guilt is overwhelming daily life, so something you never expected happens. Coming to you directly, wanting to talk, needing to explain themselves, desperate for absolution from you. This is the confrontation, but not one you would have initiated. The one being forced because living with self has become impossible. Watch how this plays out in real time. Starting with apologies that sound hollow and rehearsed, with explanations that sound more like excuses, with justifications revealing still don't fully get it. Not sorry for what was done to you, sorry for getting caught, not apologizing for hurting you intentionally, apologizing for being exposed to themselves, not seeking forgiveness for your benefit, seeking relief from own guilt eating them alive. You listen carefully, you let speaking happen without interruption, you give space to say whatever needs saying, not because owing anything at all, but because curiosity about level of self-awareness. You want to see if any will actually take real responsibility. You want to know if any have genuinely changed character. You want to understand if any deserve place in your future. Most won't pass this test. Most will fail spectacularly in front of you. Some will try to minimize what happened like it was nothing. It wasn't that bad in their version. You're being too sensitive about it. It was a misunderstanding that got blown out of proportion. Rewriting history right in front of you without shame, gaslighting you even in so-called apology. This tells you everything needed. This shows you no change at core, just gotten uncomfortable temporarily. And moment that discomfort passes, going right back to who was always been. This is where your discernment is crucial and irreplaceable. This is where your gift serves you most powerfully. You can feel difference between real remorse and performance remorse. You can sense distinction between genuine change and temporary discomfort. You can tell who's actually transformed at core and who's just trying to get back in good graces for selfish reasons. Trust that knowing, honor that gift. Let it guide decisions about who stays and who goes forever. Forgiveness doesn't mean reconciliation. Grace doesn't mean giving access back. Letting go doesn't mean letting back in. You can forgive someone completely and still keep them out of your life. You can wish someone well, genuinely, and still want nothing to do with them. You can release anger and still maintain boundary. This is mature spirituality. This is chosen one wisdom in action. Forgiveness is for you first and foremost, not for others. It's about releasing weight so moving forward, unencumbered by bitterness, becomes possible. It's about choosing peace over resentment. It's about refusing to let actions continue affecting your present moment. You forgive because carrying anger is exhausting, because holding grudges is draining, because resentment is poison to your spirit. But forgiveness from distance is still complete forgiveness. Forgiveness with boundaries is still valid. Forgiveness without reconciliation is still spiritually mature. You get to decide who's in your life. You get to choose who gets your energy. You get to determine who deserves your time and attention. This isn't being mean to people. This isn't being cold or heartless. This is being intentional. This is being protective of your peace. And anyone having a problem with that reality, that's exactly why access doesn't get deserved. So be selective with your forgiveness, be intentional with your grace, be protective with your energy. You're not obligated to give everyone second chances. You're not required to let everyone back in. You're not expected to act like nothing happened. You can acknowledge apology and still keep distance. You can accept remorse and still maintain boundary. You can forgive completely and still never speak again. Now arriving at the best part of this entire journey, the reward for your patience, the blessing for your restraint, the harvest for your wisdom. You're entering a season unlike anything experienced before in your life, a season where everything you've been building manifests rapidly, where every seed planted blooms, where every door knocked upon opens wide. This is your time, this is your moment, this is your season of overflow. Your new circle is forming naturally, real people, authentic connections, soul family members, people who get you without explanation, people who celebrate you without jealousy, people who support you without conditions, people who add to you instead of draining from you, people match your energy perfectly, people honoring your gift instead of exploiting it, people respect your boundaries automatically, people deserve you. This is your tribe, your real tribe, people who were always meant to be in your life. Your purpose is manifesting clearly, that thing you've been working towards silently, that vision held in your heart, that dream built brick by brick. It's coming together now, faster than expected, better than imagined, bigger than planned, because you stayed focused while others played games, because you kept building while others schemed against you, because you invested in your purpose while others invested in drama that meant nothing. Your joy is complete in this season, not because everything is perfect in your life, but because you're aligned with your purpose, not because you have everything wanted yet, but because you're becoming everything meant to be, not because life is easy now, but because you're equipped for whatever comes your way. This joy isn't dependent on circumstances around you. It's rooted in purpose within you. It's grounded in truth. It's anchored in divine favor. This season is your reward, not just for surviving what you went through, for thriving despite it all, not just for enduring pain, for elevating through it, not just for making it through, for making it count. Everything experienced was preparation for everything you're walking into now. Every test was training for this level. Every trial was transformation. Every challenge was character building. And now you get to see why it all mattered. You're walking forward now with complete clarity, with absolute certainty, with unwavering confidence. You know who you are. You know what you carry. You know where you're going. You know who's truly with you. You know what's ahead, and nothing can shake that knowing. Nothing can disturb that peace. Nothing can stop that momentum. Those who deceived you are in your past permanently, finally, completely. No access to this version of you, no witnessing this season of your life, no benefiting from this blessing. A chance was given, a choice was made, now living with it forever. While you live in abundance, this is your victory, not because defeating anyone in battle, because you outgrew completely, not because exposing publicly, because you elevated past spiritually, not because getting revenge, because you got better, stronger, wiser, freer, blessed. Everything attempted to be stolen from you, and infinitely more. You're not looking back anymore, not dwelling on what was, not stuck in what happened, looking forward constantly to what's coming, to what's being built, to what's manifesting, to what's destined for you. Your focus is fixed on your future. Your energy is invested in your purpose. Your attention is on your blessing. Everything else is background noise. This is just the beginning, because what you've learned, what you've gained, what you've become through this experience, that's preparation for what's next, that's training for your next level, that's equipping for your greater purpose yet to be revealed. You're not done growing. You're just getting started on this path. You've known all along what was being done. Now you know all along what you're becoming. You've seen truth the entire time. Now you're seeing your truth more clearly than ever before. You've carried this gift in silence. Now you're walking in this power out loud. This is your moment. This is your time. This is your season. This is your life unfolding. Welcome to your new reality, chosen one, where you operate from divine wisdom daily, where you walk in supernatural protection constantly, where you live in abundant blessing continually, where you exist in unshakable peace permanently, where you thrive in authentic connection, where you manifest effortless purpose. This is who you are. This is what you carry. This is where you're going. You've always known. Now everyone else knows too. But most importantly, you know the fullness of your own power now, the depth of your own wisdom, the strength of your own spirit, the magnitude of your own calling. And that knowing, that changes everything moving forward, that transforms everything around you, that elevates everything you touch. This is your testimony written in victory, from silence to power, from observation to manifestation, from knowing secrets to owning your truth completely, from being chosen to walking in that choosing daily. This is your story, and the best chapters are still being written right now. Realization has finally hit that you've known this the entire time, and yes, foolishness is being felt now. Let that feeling be processed. Let understanding come about what underestimating a chosen one means. Let comprehension arrive about the price of playing games with someone who sees beyond the physical realm. That's their lesson to learn, their karma to carry, their growth opportunity, if choosing to take it. But you're not focused on those feelings anymore. You're not concerned with that realization. You're not waiting for acknowledgement. You're moving forward into everything that's been prepared for you since before you were born. You're stepping into purpose that has your name written all over it. You're claiming blessings that have been waiting for you to be ready. Your gift of discernment wasn't just about protecting you from deception. It was about preparing you for this, for moment when you would step fully into your power without apology, for season when you would walk boldly in your purpose without hesitation, for life where you would live authentically without compromise. Everything you saw, everything you knew, everything you carried in silence was shaping you for greatness. And now that greatness is manifesting in your relationships that are real and reciprocal, in your opportunities that align with your purpose, in your peace that surpasses circumstances, in your joy that comes from deep within, in your strength that grows daily, in your wisdom that guides perfectly, in your favor that opens doors effortlessly. This is the fruit of your patience, the reward of your restraint, the blessing of your wisdom. This is what happens when you trust your gift, when you honor your knowing, when you protect your peace, when you maintain your boundaries, when you choose yourself, when you walk in your truth. Universe aligns with you, divine supports you, blessings flow to you, right people find you, wrong people remove themselves. You're not the same person who started this journey. You've been transformed by what you've been through, elevated by what you've overcome, strengthened by what you've survived, refined by what you've released, empowered by what you've claimed, and the version of you that exists right now. This is the most powerful version yet. But even this isn't your final form. You're still growing, still evolving, still ascending. Keep walking forward with confidence. Keep trusting your discernment without question. Keep setting boundaries without guilt. Keep choosing peace without compromise. Keep building your life without distraction. Keep honoring your gift without apology. Keep walking in your purpose without deviation. Keep claiming your blessings without hesitation. Certain people thought knowing you was possible, thought manipulation would work, thought fooling you was achievable. Wrong about everything, because chosen one, you are not who was thought. You never were. You were always more powerful than imagined, always more aware than believed, always more protected than understood, always more blessed than could be seen. And now truth is clear to everyone. You've known this the entire time. You saw through every mask. You recognized every game. You felt every manipulation. You understood every lie. You witnessed every betrayal. And you chose grace through all of it. You chose wisdom. You chose peace. You chose yourself. And that choice has led you here, to this moment of complete victory. This is your season of reaping what you've sown, of receiving what you've given, of manifesting what you've believed, of becoming what you've always been destined to be. Waiting is over. Testing is complete. Transformation is done. Now comes the reward. Now comes the blessing. Now comes the overflow. Now comes the abundance. Now comes the favor. Now comes the purpose fully realized. Walk in it boldly. Live in it fully. Receive it gratefully. Share it generously. Protect it fiercely. Enjoy it completely. This is yours. You've earned it. You deserve it. You're ready for it. And nothing and no one can take it from you, because it's divinely appointed, spiritually sealed, universally guaranteed. You are a chosen one. You walk with divine discernment. You carry supernatural wisdom. You operate under spiritual protection. You move in divine favor. You live in abundant blessing. You exist in unshakable peace. You thrive in authentic power. This is your identity. This is your reality. This is your truth. Realization has finally hit about you knowing this the entire time. And now you realize the fullness of what that means for your future. You weren't just surviving deception. You were being prepared for your destination. You weren't just enduring games. You were being equipped for your greatness. You weren't just protecting yourself from darkness. You were being positioned for your light to shine brighter than ever. This is your moment. This is your time. This is your season. This is your life. Own it. Embrace it. Live it. Love it. You've come too far to dim your light now. You've grown too much to shrink back now. You've transformed too completely to return to who you were. Keep moving forward. Keep rising higher. Keep shining brighter. The best is not behind you. The best is ahead of you. The best is coming for you. The best is being prepared for you right now. And you're walking straight into it with your head held high, your spirit soaring, your purpose clear, your path illuminated, your future secured. This is who you are, chosen one. This is what you've become. This is where you're going, and absolutely nothing can stop you now. You've always been the one with the real power. You've always been the one who knew. You've always been the one walking in divine favor. Game is over. Truth is out. Victory is yours. Walk in it with absolute confidence and unshakable faith in what's ahead.